All right, so update on the 2005 Ford GT with the super rusty fuel tank. Y'all watched the first video. Has two fuel pumps. This is what they both look like. I mean, super bad, right? Obviously a lot of rust. The car is 20 years old. Doesn't have a ton of miles. It's more of a collector car, cruiser for the owner. And so unfortunately, the fuel system just didn't hold up to the ethanol content of the fuel very well, had a lot of corrosion. If you guys remember, I was showing you the fuel level sensor. So I reached out to a ton of people, reached out to Ford Racing, Ford Performance Parts, everything, just trying to get any information that I can on this part, and everybody came up dry, said that there's no documentation whatsoever, there's no replacement parts available. It's not listed, there's no like ohms range, there's nothing, no information on it. So after a lot of hours of studying and reading and figuring it out, we came to the conclusion that this is what's called an ultrasonic liquid level sensor. And so the way it works is you have a wafer, a rubber isolator, which is also a wafer, and then you have another wafer. And what it's doing is sending signal through the entirety of the fuel that is in the tank and then catching it on the other wafer and basically measuring the resistance. So it is, as the fuel level goes down, it comes back faster or slower, I don't know. But we figured it out. We figured out how it works. We figured out how to clean it up and get it working again. And then we figured out how to bench test it. So 3-wire system, power ground signal. We brought in a DC bench power supply, took 2 guys because we had to hold a bunch of little prongs. We ran 5 volts through it, and then we submerged the sensor in fluid and we measured the voltage out. So it was out of the tank, it's straight 5 volts. You start dropping it into a little bit of fluid, you start seeing voltage drop. That tells us the sensor is good. It's ugly, but it's good and it works. And so the reason we think we're getting a check engine code for that sensor is probably had to do with all of the rust that was surrounding it. So it may have been grounding out in some way, or it may have, had contamination in the sensor itself. It did have some, but took about 3 hours. We thoroughly cleaned the fuel tank, rinsed it out, cleaned it out, got rid of everything, checked the sensor, made sure it was good, got new fuel pumps. We opted for, with the owner's permission, to go with aftermarket fuel pumps because these are discontinued parts. Again, everything is discontinued for this car. There's very few items that you can still find that are still in production, and there's very little overlap with production vehicles from the time frame. So we had to replace this is a returnless appearing fuel system, but it does have a return, but is all done inside of the tank. So the fuel pressure regulator is about that big, and it's a little diaphragm type system. We're able to cross-reference and find a fuel pressure regulator that came out of a Volkswagen something or other.
Something Volkswagen.
Identical, and it has the same pressure rating and everything. So we found it, we fitted it up, it worked. We got the aftermarket fuel pumps in there, the tank is clean, everything's been rewired. Phil went through, did a bunch of stuff he can tell you about. And now we're at the point where it's time to put the tank up in there, not quite seal everything up, but we're gonna start checking, making sure that we're gonna clear the codes and see if they come back and double check and see, because right now we know everything inside of the tank is great. It's good. So now we can kind of start, if the problem still persists, we can start chasing it through the wiring, go to the gauge control module, etc. But yeah, unfortunately, 4 out of the 16 injectors could not be saved. We tried. I honestly, the guy drove it in here and the car sounded great. I have no idea.
It's going to sound fine at idle,
yeah,
but it's not going to sound, it's going to start messing up when you go under a big load. So there was one that was like a dead cylinder. But
really?
Remember last time I revved it up, I was like, this doesn't sound right.
Yeah, I mean, but it was pretty crazy. The fuel filter is, again, typical Ford GT. They want $180, and then I literally just got the email that it's discontinued and they won't send it to me, and they refunded my money. So
I was cleaning out the fuel system since I was going through the fuel injectors, as you can see.
Dump that out in my hand. See.
Nothing but look at all that. And then if you look right inside there, like how this thing was running, I really don't know. But that's just a testament to like Bosch injectors. They can,
like
they did good for a while, but just how this whole system is, it's totally trash.
I would have never guessed. Personally, I would have never guessed. Luckily, you know, the customer, we gave him a pretty high estimate, assuming there would be a lot of replacement parts and everything. And so, and he was cool with it. We told him, you know, nothing's made for this car. There's not a lot we can do. Time to start putting the fuel tank in, and hopefully no more issues on the fuel system side of the thing, and we can just start closing this thing up. Trying to source a fuel filter still, find somebody who's got one on the shelf somewhere, or we're gonna have to cross-reference it with something, because we want everything to be as OEM as possible, but some items it's just not possible.
Well, yeah, let's get this thing in here. Watch that fuel line. Hang on. Bring your side down a little bit.
Shoulder burning.
Oh, that's why. I'm wondering why I won't clip. I'm like, why aren't you clipping? Where's that tab? And just sneak yourself in and click it onto the sending unit.
$7,000 plastic fuel tank. Get another tech over here. We need another billable hour.
Well, start from the rear and work your way over.
I got you. Torques, because this car goes fast.
And you get the filler neck. That sounded good.
That's fine. It's from Streamlight. Lifetime warranty.
Ah.
I don't think dropping it on its head is...
Yeah, I don't think that's good for it, you know?
That's normal. What are you talking about? I'm just trying to beat Jesus.
You live off of Dr. Pepper. I don't want to hear.
Hey, well, Phil's saving up for the triple bypass that's coming at 38, so. Monster is good for your stomach.
No, it's not.
This thing's missing a bunch of hardware in this little side arrow. We didn't touch that.
No, we never touched it.
Look at all Snap-on over here with his maker's mark, dude. How's he get money?
This is like the typical construction stuff. One guy's working, everybody's talking. Update. Radiator lines. One's for like the intercooler, then one's for the radiator itself. You have 2 reservoirs. So after having fun getting that back in there, you need to get all the hoses back here connected, fuel lines connected, and then drop this tank one more time, stick in the other radiator hoses in. These GTs, they don't give you any room to do nothing.